Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Brie of Brilicious Stitches. Today we have a different kind of video. I am going to be reading some Reddit threads, crochet, am I the asshole Reddit threads, and giving my opinions on them. I've seen a couple people do this a couple different ways, and I thought it would be better if I just focus, read in your little corner, and you can also watch my hands on the main screen crocheting my project, which will be done separately. So I think I'm gonna be finishing up my Steeler sweater for this video, so enjoy me making that down below. But let's get right into it. Also, really sorry about this odd angle because the computer's over here, but I don't want everything, my messy room, in the background. Okay. Alright. Am I the asshole for charging my family for crochet projects? I have been crocheting for about 2 years, but only recently started making things for my family. My auntie wanted me to make her 2 turtles, which are very large and requires a lot of yarn, which is very expensive. I told her I would do the first one for free since I have a rule of 1 freebie per family member, and then if you want anything else made, you have to pay. I then told her the second one will be $25, which was very cheap for the size of the project. But she would also have to pay for the yarn herself. She started getting angry with me, saying she shouldn't have to pay for it to begin with since she is family. My mom is on my side, but a lot of my other family members are on her side. So am I the asshole? I don't think they're the asshole. I'm pretty much the same. You got a free thing from me. After that, after especially starting a business with it, you gotta pay me for my time. Unless I was gonna make it anyway and I just was like, I made this but I don't necessarily want it, it's not for me, and I just want to give it away, that's different. But you requesting stuff, you gotta give me something. I think I would only do so many, it really depends on the project, but I would only do so many, like if you buy the yarn then I'll make it for free. But other than that, you gotta pay retail. Whatever I have on my Etsy shop, you gotta order straight from my Etsy. I might tell you that I'll ship it to you for free. I don't live near any of my family, so I might ship it to you. But yeah, so not the asshole. And the consensus for this was not the asshole as well. Not the asshole, but perhaps break it down for her. Materials cost X, and for $25 you'd be paying me X per hour. Not the asshole. Homemade crafts cost money. I'm a potter and clay is expensive. If someone wants a simple mug, yes, I will throw it for free. But if they want something elaborate, I charge them by the cost of the clay, glazes, and a portion of my kiln time. The exception I make is for Christmas gifts. I start making things in August for the holidays if people want something. Otherwise, I prefer to buy a gift because it's faster and I don't charge for that. That's pretty much how I would look at it as well. Next. Am I the asshole for telling my girlfriend her blankets are pretty useless and impractical? Just off the title, yes. I, 29 male, have been dating my girlfriend, 28 female, for 8 months. My girlfriend has many hobbies. Among them are crocheting and volunteering at a harm reduction center in our city. I won't pretend to know a lot about crochet because I've never done it, and she's the first person I know who does. Her work at the harm reduction center is simply badass though. She is really good at it and has saved someone's life before from an overdose. For the past couple of weeks, she's been working a lot on blankets for the regulars in her center. I guess she does this every year when it starts to get cold out. She gets donations to buy yarn and then makes blankets for people in their favorite colors and in designs she thinks they would like. Blankets are her favorite things to make, so this is like a fun thing for her to get to do. I was blown away by how much money she spent on yarn this year, close to $500, and even though it's mostly not her money, I was just flabbergasted. My thing is that even though the stuff she makes is pretty, that's about all it is. I've never personally reached for one of the blankets she's made for her apartment because when I look at them, they just have a lot of holes and gaps in them. I'm sure it's a design thing, but that type of blanket is basically for show. How warm can it be when, if you stretch it out at all, you're making gaps in it? So I brought this up to her because I feel like with that much money, you can buy better blankets for cheaper and then use the rest to buy stuff for the center, and that her blankets wouldn't do anything to keep someone warm on the streets. She said that this is something all of the regulars look forward to every year because they need the blankets, but they also love having something that was handmade special for them, and some of them haven't had that in ages after living on the streets for so long. I said that was fine, but a good feeling from the gift isn't enough to keep them warm. She said I was being obtuse, that they are warm, and that I always wear the scarf and hat she made me. Aren't those warm? But those are different because they're things you wrap tightly around yourself. She went back to her place upset and frustrated because she feels like I am intentionally not listening, but I feel like if you guys could see the stuff she's making, you'd agree with me that they're completely useless blankets. Yeah, you're the asshole. What? So he's never even grabbed one of her blankets, like, let me try to cozy up and snuggle up with one of these blankets, to know that yarn is hot as hell most of the time. Whatever stitches, whatever holes, blah 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 that you want to call it, designs, and that is how you crochet. That is how it's supposed to look, and it's warm no matter what. No matter what. So you're the asshole. They have an edit. Okay, I'm the asshole. I'll take my judgment. I posted pics of the blankets she sent me on me profile because people asked. I still don't know if I'd use one, but I understand people find them warm still. The general consensus is that he is the asshole. But I'm confused on why you're not even trying to use the blanket. Like, sit on the couch, put the blanket on your lap, and see how well you stay warm. I hope she doesn't make him one. Like, what the hecky? Let's see. You're the asshole for sure. I'm a crocheter and I know what you mean about the holes, but you should actually try a blanket out. They are very warm. You don't know what you're talking about. Your girlfriend sounds awesome. She should find someone else. Clock it. My sentiments. Exactly. Okay, I know exactly what kind of blankets you're talking about because when I was homeless, I owned 3 blankets, one of which was a large crocheted one. They have lots of loops and gaps and look kind of webby. That blanket was the second warmest one I owned, and on top of that, it was pretty. Do you know what it's like to have nothing, to live in a tent and wrap yourself up in anything you find from blankets to old coats to plastic fucking sheets to stay warm? Do you know how cheap and ragged and awful your blankets get when you sleep on the ground every night? That crocheted blanket was pretty. It cleaned up easy in the creek and dried fast on the clothesline. It was always the blanket I put over all the others because when you wrap it up around a blanket burrito, it holds heat so well. Your girlfriend's blankets are pretty warm and personalized. That's the kind of thing I would have killed for when I was sleeping rough. Yeah. You're the asshole guy. Next. Am I the asshole for refusing to crochet a scarf for my grandma? No. Why you not? Why grandma can't have a scarf? Let's see. First things first. I want to apologize for any mistakes in this post. English isn't my first language. Here's some background info. I, 15 female, learned how to crochet about a year ago. Since then, I started crocheting clothes, animals, and mostly scarves. Few weeks ago, my mom, 47F, decided it would be a nice gift for my grandma, 65F, for Christmas. I found a pattern and started crocheting, but I didn't enjoy it. The pattern mainly. Oh, she didn't enjoy the pattern mainly. This morning, I told my mom I don't like the pattern and I don't want to make something that I don't enjoy, and it's mostly punishment for me. My mom went completely bonkers. She started yelling at me how my grandma will be so happy and how she'll like it so much. She also said many things that hurt my feelings, and it was not a nice way to begin the day. Mind you, this was the first thing she told me in the morning after I woke up. Right now, I'm sitting in my room refusing to come out because my mom precisely told me she doesn't want to see my face today. So am I the asshole? I don't think you're the asshole, because if I'm making something and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more, then I just don't. You didn't say that you wouldn't make her anything at all, but that particular pattern she didn't like, you can always pick another one. I don't think that makes you the asshole at all. Not at all. Let's see some comments. Not the asshole. If she wants to give your grandma a crochet scarf, she can crochet one. Not the asshole. I knit and I decided I no longer take orders. If I want to knit something to someone, then I choose what and what pattern. This should be something you enjoy, and if you don't like the pattern, then you shouldn't do it. There are others. And also maybe try a smaller project like a hat or gloves. You choose. It's your gift. Not the asshole. It'd be one thing if she just wanted you to make a scarf of your choice, but demanding you make a specific one is rude. Are you a member of Ravelry.com? It's a good place to look for patterns, especially if you're wanting to find something visually similar but enjoyable to make. Not the asshole. You might want to change the pattern a bit so it's not so boring to do. That's great. About being an artist, you are in control of what you will do, and patterns can just be for inspiration. Yeah. And the general consensus is that they are not the asshole. Because, girl, how you gonna tell me? I feel like that was like no brainer. But she's 15, so I can understand how you're like, was this my fault? No, babes. Your mom tweaking. Next. Am I the asshole for demanding my mom take back... What? Am I the asshole for demanding my mom to take back from a child of my stepfather family a crochet frog that I made for her as a gift? That's confusing a little bit. For context, I, 19 female, learned how to crochet a few months ago from my nanny and my grandmother. I felt a connection with them when I started, and when I told my family, they supported me. The first thing I did was a cute frog for my sister. When my mother saw it, she asked me for one. So one day my mom went to a party for my stepfather's family. He has this gorgeous and well-behaved girl that I barely know, but I love her as she is my new cousin. Still, when my mom saw that this girl wanted the frog that I made for her, she gave it to her. When she told me when she came back, I cried all night because I put so much effort and love to the small little frog. I demanded her the next morning to take it back because it was a gift for her, not for that little girl, and she got mad at me. So am I the asshole? I'm finding it. I don't think that makes her an asshole. Making people things, especially your family and friends, making people stuff is very sentimental to the artist. It's very sentimental to the artist. And once I make you something, I would love for you to keep it. But if you give it away to someone else that will use it or love it more, I wouldn't be mad at that. I just know, I don't know. I just know how I would feel about that internally, and it may affect how I give you gifts in the future, or if I do at all. I don't think that makes you the asshole for being upset about it. However, her mom didn't say she didn't like it. She has a little girl saw a toy and wanted a toy. She gave her the toy. And that's cool. I feel like that's fine. Like, I gave her this one. Can you make me another one? I feel like that could have been a chat to have, but okay, the question is, are you the asshole for demanding her to take it back from the child? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. That makes you an asshole. Demanding that she get it back from the kid is a bit much. But I understand your feelings. So this doesn't say, it says discussion. It doesn't say there was a general consensus or whether or not, but most people are saying once it's gifted, it doesn't belong to you and you have no right to tell them what to do with it, which is valid. So we'll just go with that. Okay, next. Am I the asshole for declining to crochet a sweater for my cousin? No. Just off that, no. You don't have to crochet anything for anyone you don't want to. I, 38F, crocheted myself a cardigan recently that I really like and wear often. I went to visit a cousin, 42F, and her daughter, 18F, with my mother, 71F, and wore the cardigan. Cousin's daughter complimented me on it and abruptly asked me to make one for her. I explained it took me about 40 hours to make mine, it's fine yarn and pretty long, and that I could send her the YouTube tutorial I learned it from. She starts to tear up a bit and sniffles while telling me that's not fair, you know I don't know how to do that kind of stuff. I try to gently explain that the YouTube tutorial is really good at showing/teaching how. She's still looking pouty. Cousin pipes up at this point saying it would be nice if I could just make her one, that she's too busy to spend all that time on a sweater because she works. This hit a nerve with me because my cousin often makes passive-aggressive comments about how I don't work. I'm a stay-at-home mom, work-at-home mom to 3 kids under 8 and have a little home-based business doing tailoring and mending, some crafting, etc. She doesn't consider my work to be real work. Acts like I must live a life of leisure. Previously, I had always bitten my tongue and changed the subject because I didn't want the drama, but I just let it out this time. I told her I do work and I do it while caring for 3 children. She laughed and said it hardly pays enough to be considered work. I lost my temper and told her my finances were none of her damn business and that she's out of her fucking mind to think she can treat me so rudely while trying to demand hours and hours of my labor for free. Cousin starts crying at this point and the visit obviously ends. Afterwards, my mom tells me she is very disappointed in me for swearing in front of my cousin's child and that I'm partly to blame for wearing the sweater that started the argument and I wasn't polite. I flatly told her that's ridiculous. It's an article of clothing. It's meant to wear. I have quite a few pieces of clothing I've made myself. Should I stop wearing them all in case entitled people decide they want me making them all free clothes? Anyways, now my cousin and cousin's daughter are thinking I'm the asshole and my mom thinks we're all assholes apparently. Am I the asshole? No. That's like a no fucking brainer. I spent 40 hours making this. That's a work week for someone. So if she's not working and you know how fucking long 40 hours is to be doing something with your hands with fine lace yarn, even if she used goddamn chunky yarn. That's a lot. Y'all ain't offered you didn't even offer to buy yarn. Just make her one. You can make her one. Huh? How you gonna volunteer her time and skills? She said, I figured it out from this video. You can too. What's wrong with that? You're not the asshole. And your mom's an asshole too. Because If I want to wear my sweater, I'm going to wear my sweater. You shouldn't have worn that sweater. You knew you made that sweater. And she might have wanted one because you made that sweater. How was you cool? No. The general consensus is not the asshole. Let's read some comments. This is the most hilarious example of someone being shamed for what they were wearing that I've ever come across. Not the asshole. I would love the YouTube link. Yep, the child is an asshole for acting like a cryberry infant. The infant is an asshole for enabling her and acting so entitled to someone else's time. And the OP's mother is weak and spineless for not defending her own daughter. I would also add that the OP got reprimanded for swearing in front of the child, who was 18 years old. I think she's probably heard curse words before. Otherwise, she's a shelter as she is spoiled, not the asshole. My time is valuable. It takes me 40 hours. My rate is $30 an hour plus yarn. The sweater is worth $1,250. Are you actually asking me to give you over $1,000? Not the asshole. The child is an adult who apparently has been taught to whine and cry about how things are unfair when she doesn't get her way. When cousin starts crying, we immediately know who taught her this manipulation technique. It was obvious that cousin was going to take your hard work to give it to her spoiled child. Then your mother jumps in with both feet because you swore in front of an adult. Heavens, fetch my smelling salts. I feel faint. People who don't do crafts don't appreciate the time and effort that they take. You did nothing wrong and shouldn't apologize even to make peace, not the asshole. Yeah. That's like a no fucking brainer. This one was from 8 days ago. We got a new one because these other ones have been kind of old. So, am I the asshole for buying more yarn after my husband told me that I can't knit during the weekdays anymore? I don't knit, I crochet. You're not the asshole because he doesn't even know what you do. Anyway. Hello, Charlotte and Mike. I watch... Wait, what? Hello, Charlotte and Mike. I watch you all the time on YouTube. I just love your hair. Congratulations on getting married. I don't know who Charlotte and Mike is. But okay. I, female 40, I'm a stuck-at-home mom and wife. I say stuck at home because I live in a rural area and unfortunately due to bad anxiety and PTSD from childhood trauma, I don't drive, so I'm always stuck at home. There is also no public transportation, otherwise I would have a job. So I do what stuck-at-home parents do. I cook, I clean. I'll admit firsthand that my home isn't perfectly clean all the time. Sometimes I do slack and laundry piles up a little. But that is also because at times I run out of detergent or I will have baskets of clean laundry not put away. It's not like I have bags of trash in the corner or anything. I also have depression and use crocheting as an outlet. So to the title about buying more yarn after my husband said that I can't knit during the weekdays. It was on the weekend. My husband doesn't work the weekend unless he gets called in. He has a stressful job. I was crocheting on the bed watching TV with my dryer, so he tells me that I can't knit on the weekday because I have been slacking on the house a bit. Mind you, after he gets off work and changes from his work clothes to clean clothes, he will just change and leave the clothes on the floor, just feet from the dirty laundry basket. It pisses me off, but I don't say anything because I don't want to make a big deal about it. I also like to make candles out of beeswax. I just find it soothing as the wax melts. He told me a few months ago that I need to choose a hobby, candles or crochet. So I decided to put candles on the back burner. No intention of stopping. Candles just take longer. So the next day again, he tells me the same thing. No more knitting on the weekdays. It really pissed me off. Again, I don't say much other than okay. I didn't want to start an argument because the kids were home. Plus, I didn't want to listen to him. So Monday rolls around and I decided to use my PayPal card and a $10 Walmart gift card and bought some more yarn for a project that I wanted to finish because I ran out. Since it's not for knitting, I figured it doesn't count. So as long as the dishes are done, garbage is taken out. I took it out today. After his uniforms are clean and he has clean socks and underwear, I will continue to crochet. I should state that I want to get a stockpile of the stuff that I make so I can set up a booth at craft fairs. I will also mention that I have sold several things that I have made. Why do men, you know? Me as a man hater, reading that was just like, but, you know, I'm not judging anybody's situation, whatever. Are you the asshole for buying more yarn after your husband told you that you can't knit during the weekdays anymore? And you don't knit, you crochet? You used your PayPal card and a $10 Walmart gift card and bought yarn for a project. No, I don't think you're the asshole. That's your fucking business. If you want to take time for yourself outside of taking care of your kids in your house, that's absolutely valid. Even if you didn't want to do that, that's absolutely valid because you're a grown ass woman. 40 years old, mind you. So I understand he may be paying for it, whatever. He can say, you know, say this is the amount of money that you have for spending it, I guess. However y'all split your money up. You can't crochet during the week because I want you to pick up after me. Crazy work. Nobody's house is clean 100% of the time. That's unrealistic. You live there, you have kids, you doing everything. If you don't want to do the laundry today, but you do it tomorrow, that's your business. You don't even have to explain all of this backstory shit that you got into. The bottom line is, he's like, this is what you need to be doing every day. As long as you're doing your part of what y'all agreed on, I don't understand. That's not my business to understand, not my marriage. But as far as you buying some yarn, you ran out of yarn. And then your loophole, because it's not to knit, because you crochet. Whatever. Use his words against him, I guess. I don't think that makes you the asshole. Someone said your husband should go fuck himself. Love this. A lot of guys seem to think a stay-at-home mom is just lying around all day while they work. OP should have husband take over her household role for a week while she goes and rents a hotel room so she can truly crochet in peace. Your husband is a controlling ass. Please don't feel like you have to live like this if you don't want to. There are resources out there to help you out of this situation. Yeah, like I said, not my marriage, not my business. I don't want to go that deep into it because it's not necessary, but you're not the asshole, babe. Let's do one more. Am I the asshole for crafting during meetings? So I work in a mainly office setting, and we have a lot of meetings, video conferences, and online training, which is primarily in video format. I've always needed something to do with my hands thanks to ADHD, and if I don't, then I cannot focus on things that isn't reading properly, which is ironic because I also have dyslexia. I've also been crocheting and knitting since I was little, and it's something I do a lot while at home watching TV and movies because it helps me focus. In uni, I used to crochet and knit in lectures because it helped and no one seemed to have a problem with it. The lecturers actually encouraged it when I asked and said as long as it helped me focus, I could do whatever I wanted. So I decided I was going to take it into work with me to see if that would help me focus more in meetings and not get distracted during them. They're very long meetings, going up to 4 hours sometimes, and usually I mentally clock out within the first half hour. Real. Side note, I have brought up in supervision that I had trouble focusing, and my manager was actually the one that recommended I find something to do with my hands and okayed it. It worked. I was able to focus a lot better and be more involved in the meetings because I wasn't drifting away. But recently, a colleague came up to me and told me to stop. He said that it was rude and disrespectful towards everyone in the meeting and our service users whom the meetings are generally about. I tried to explain that it actually helped me in staying on track and remembering more of the information about our service users, but he held his stance firmly. And it's not like I'm not participating at all. I don't need to look down at my knitting or crochet because I've been doing it so long, and I bring in pieces that are simple and mindless to do. I also will put it down to write, type up notes, and if I'm talking. Anyway, my colleague said he was going to bring this to the higher ups if I continued, even though I had already cleared it with my manager before I started doing so, and it's gotten me a bit worried, so I need your opinions. I just want to preface that the meetings I take part in aren't massive company meetings. Usually there are about 6 to 15 of us, and it's generally group discussions. Also, where I work is quite relaxed and generally a casual setting, like we wear smart casual as well, so it's not super formal. So should I stop? Is what I'm doing disrespectful? Edits, more info. To clear up about the service users, they are not in the meeting with us. It's only us as professionals in these meetings. We are discussing them and what we are going to do / our plans, but they are not present for them. We work with their mental health, and I'm a part of a therapy team, so I am well aware that it would be unprofessional to do so in the presence of service users. Additionally, the people within these meetings are generally people I see every day, so they're not all strangers. Also, I keep the crafting on my lap, and the projects are relatively small and in one color, like socks, hats, squares, etc. Not big projects like blankets and sweaters. I have a notebook or laptop on the table, so I'm not taking up a bunch of space on the table, and it is generally quite hidden. When in the in-person meetings, I crochet so there is no needles clacking, as crochet only uses one hook. The knitting is done when I'm online, as knitting is a bit more of a hassle than crochet is. I am not medicated for my ADHD, but that has a reason. I have tried a lot. I get bad side effects from medication, even in general, such as extreme drowsiness and nausea, or some of them just don't work for me, and these side effects mean I cannot work a full-time job, which I love, so I'd rather be unmedicated and have to deal with it myself than be ill and not working. Thank you all for the recommendations on other fidgets I could use as well. I'll give some of them a try. Edit 2. Thank you for all the responses so far. I'll take what's been said into consideration. I'm going to speak with my manager on Monday and ask if we can talk about it at the beginning of the next meeting to get input from everyone else. I just want to say quickly to people saying I should just focus and stop being unprofessional by fidgeting in any capacity. ADHD and other disabilities do not work like that. I can't just focus. I can't just grow up. That is not how it works. If you can come up with a way to miraculously make me focus without fidgeting, I'm all ears. Okay, so I don't think you're the asshole. I crochet to focus. I crochet for my mental health. I crochet because I love it, and I don't think that it's hurting anybody and it's bothering anybody. I don't think that it doesn't make a noise. You don't have to see it, and once you're doing it a while, you don't even have to be looking at it. You know, it's a very mindless thing you can be doing, like whatever, and you don't really have to be looking at it. Like, I may look down for a moment just to make sure that while I was mindlessly not paying attention to it, that I didn't mess up. I don't think that you're the asshole for doing that, especially because before you started doing it, you asked your manager. Period. Your colleague, not the boss of you. And that, I hate that so much. People want to be the boss of you so freaking bad. You asked who you directly report to. They said, yes, I encourage you to do so. We shouldn't even be having this discussion. I talked to who I needed to talk to about it. Not up to you. If it's bothering you, don't look at me. There's 15 other people in this meeting. Look at them. She says she sits it down, and she doesn't do it while she's talking. She sits it down and she takes notes. She's actively a part of the conversation. Why are you bothered? Some people, it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. There's always going to be somebody in your fucking business. You could be minding your business, staying out of the way, not making a peep. There's always somebody going to be in your fucking business. So, once she said, I talked to my manager said it was okay. My manager was like, it's cool. I encourage you to do so. I really turned my brain off. All this other extra stuff isn't even necessary. Honestly, They do therapy. No, you shouldn't do it in front of your clients or service users, whatever it is that you're calling them. No, you shouldn't. And she knows that. So, no, not the asshole. And that is the general consensus for this post. You literally cleared this with your manager. It wasn't a surprise to them. And as long as you're focused and participating, that's all that should matter, not the asshole. My sentiments exactly. As someone with ADHD, I've realized that appearing like I'm listening and actually listening look very different from each other. When I'm actually listening and engaged with every word someone says, I'm typically staring off into space to avoid distraction and keep myself focused on the audio and doing something with my hands. Unfortunately, this reads as distracted and disinterested to most people. When I'm appearing to listen, I have to spend extra energy to keep my hands and body still, make the correct amount of eye contact, and monitor my facial expression so that it doesn't conflict with what is being said. This takes up a great deal of mental bandwidth, so despite looking attentive, I'm only partially listening. As a knitter, I am with you. As a worker, I'd be very wary of doing this for fear of losing respect. Some people are saying doodle on paper. Not the asshole because it was clear with your manager, but you may want to take the extra step to get documented accommodations in place with HR. You also may want to report your colleagues' interaction with you to your manager and HR. Definitely get it on paper. Always keep a paper trail. So, yeah. Neurotypicals will usually not get it. It's like when I have to make hard eye contact, I can do it, but I can't hear, process what you're saying. If I have to hold that eye contact, it'll take up all my mental capacity. For many, fiddling with something in your hands is a distraction and a clear message that you're not engaging in the conversation of a meeting. As an ADHD brain adult, I know exactly how counterintuitive it is, but if I can fidget or busy this other portion of my mind, then I can really focus on the meeting. Hell, I'll come out less tired too. There you have it. It's definitely a tricky spot, but I can understand. I can understand and be distracted to some people as well because they're too. It's because they're paying attention to what you're doing instead of paying attention to what they're doing, and it's like I feel like if you were truly engaged in what the speaker was saying, you would not be paying attention to what I'm doing if you were paying as much attention as you say you are, you know? But I'm not saying that I'm not an asshole. So that's how I feel about it. And I'm going to leave that at that. I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was pretty cool for me. I love doing this. I love looking at people do them. So let me know if you like this video. If you made it this far, please comment Christmas tree in the comments. Let me know your opinions on any of these. I would love to read them. And I think that's all, guys. Thank you for watching this day of Vlogmas, whatever day this happens to fall on. But this is for Vlogmas. Like, comment, share, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you can get notifications when I do post. And I'll see you all next time. Bye.